Alright guys, we got an old one here, Chevy Optra. This is a 2-liter. It's in the garage. We got a little problem on there. You can see it's been sitting over a year, and it's got towed in here. I had to boost it up to bring it to the garage. So let's take a look. So about a week ago, I went to his house, the owner of this vehicle. He'd been sitting on his backyard over a year and a half. You can see it's all this fall leaves from like last year, and the battery is brand new. 2024 is the year of September, and we'll put the multimeter here. You can see it's slowly dying, so the booster is off. And then when you just test the lead, it's only 7 volts on this battery, but if you turn on the booster, it will jump to 9.4. so booster is about to die as well. I'm gonna show you what's going on here. So this I don't even know if this is gonna crank. Let's take a look. Warning right here, it's gonna be loud. There's an exhaust leak on this, so let's see. Uh-oh, I don't like that sound. Oh yeah, it's dead. All right, let's get another booster pack here. All right, another booster pack. Let's see how this thing works. All right, we got 10.6 volts. This should start. Here we go. Yeah, there you go. Alright, 6 volts. It didn't last long because I turned off the booster pack, and the battery is stone cold dead. It's not gonna last long. Dim light right there. So that noise, the howling sound, I checked this already last week. I went to his backyard, quick test, take out the intake box. I put a probe on this pulleys right here, the crank, power steering, AC, and the alternator. That sound was the alternator. We took out the belt, and after taking out the belt, the sound went away. So we know that it's one of these pulleys right here. Confirm it was the alternator. I had to put a probe and double check that sound, that it was coming for sure from the alternator. So the bearing, the pulley shot on the alternator, and with that, it's not charging the battery. That's what caused that battery to die. So on this video, this 05 2-liter Optra, we're gonna be replacing the alternator. So let's get started. Let's go. All right guys, so there's a couple bolts I need to take out. This air box right here. There's one right there, clamp right there. The clamp, take that out because this intake is gonna come out. Hose clamp right here, flat screwdriver, and then there's one right there, flat screwdriver on that throttle body. Those are the 3 things we need to take out, and this will come out quick. Just like that. And then next, after you take out that bolt right there, there's a little rubber tabs right here that needs to unhook from the bracket. Move that. It come out like this. There we go. And you can see that's the alternator right there. Look at that belt. That belt is just needs a new one. So we're gonna take out the serpentine belt and take out this bracket right here, and then there's a bolt underneath. There's 2 bolts underneath the alternator. Take that out and then unhook everything what's around the alternator, and the alternator will come out. But first, let's take out this belt. There's a tensioner right there. I think we use 15 mil combination wrench. The close end is a better one to use on this. I'm just gonna set it up like that, and just get an extension, like a longer one, so we could push this wrench forward of the vehicle so that we could take out this belt. Okay, so go forward like that. All right, there we go. Definitely we're gonna change this belt. You can see that it's cracked right there, all over the place. We got the new belt already, and we got a new alternator already. So I believe there's 2 sizes of belt when the part source guy mentioned There's two sides. The difference is the AC. If the AC is been replaced by the dealer that is aftermarket, or the AC is been original from the manufacturer. So if it's been replaced or not, one belt is longer than the other one. So I picked up both belts, and we're gonna measure both belts to this old one right here, and we'll find the right size. All right, so quickly took out that bolt right here. 10 mil on this one, just to hold the power steering line. 12 mil, there's 3 12 mil, 1, 2, and then 3 right here. That would hold this bracket up to hold that alternator. And after this bracket's gone, we're gonna be working on the bottom. There's 2 bolts that we need to take out for the bottom, take out the bracket for the alternator. All right, so there's a third bracket that holds this alternator. This one right here. There's a bolt right here to the intake bolted down, and there's a bolt right here to the alternator. So that one is out 12 mil on that bolt. I'll show you the bracket. There's a bracket right there. So there's 3 brackets. There's 1, 2, and then there's a bracket underneath the alternator as well. And there's a connector at the back right here. Just pull that out. Okay, so all the harness and connector is detached from the alternator now. And there's one more positive cable right there, the big fat cable that needs to take out, going to the battery. And yeah, make sure take out the negative battery when you're working on this, because we don't want sparks anywhere. So make sure to take out the negative battery right there. All right, there's a bracket underneath. There's 2 bolts. I'm gonna show you on the side here on the chart. Those are the 2 bolts that you need to take out. Those 2 bolts right there, we're gonna use 14 mil. I cracked it loose already with the extension bar, so we're just gonna spin it out and then manually spin it with your finger, and that bolt will come out easily. All right, there's 1, and then there's 2 right there. All right, 1 big fat cable right here to take out. Make sure you got the battery negative post cable is out of the battery, okay, before you touch this thing, because it might get some sparks and might ground out, so we don't want to do that. Looks like a 12 mil socket on that one. All right, there we go, guys. The old alternator is out finally. That wasn't take long. It probably took me about 20 minutes on that one. There's that bracket underneath right here with 2 bolts that was screwed into the side of the block right there. You can't see it, but look at that. Look at that. That's a noise that we're hearing from the beginning. It's just dirty, bearing a shot. That's why we're changing it. All right, guys, so you can see here's a new one right there compared to the old one. Just double check, make sure it's exactly the same alternator. See 3 pins right there, 3 pins right there, perfect. And then we had to transfer this bracket to here, and then should be good. All right, let's install this new one to the back of the engine. Alright, put those 2 bolts in there, line it up, and then we'll bolt it down to the side of the block. Make sure don't lose that bolt. Alright, guys, so we got those 2 bolts hand tight in there. Let's put this bracket right here. Bracket with 3 bolts. Tighten up after when everything is all hand tight. Alright, so we're gonna tighten that 2 bolts on the bottom. That's 2 bolts right here underneath the alternator, and that's the one with 27 foot-pounds, okay. And then the 3 bolts right here, that one is 18 foot-pounds right there. So we're just gonna tighten it up with the digital torque wrench, the bottom first, and then the one on the top is next. Alright guys, so all those bolts are tight, torque to spec. The bracket bolt here from the power steering, there's a bolt right there, 10 mil. We're gonna torque that thing down later. The connector right here on the alternator goes in there. Quickly snap it in there. This is going to the intake manifold. And the big fat cable here from the battery, it goes into that bolt right there. We're gonna just slide this in and then we'll tighten up that bolt. There we go. It's gonna cover that up all the way. And then last bracket right here, this is the one going to the back of the alternator, going to the intake manifold. Alright, there we go. Just double check everything, make sure it's nice and tight, nothing's loose, nice and snug. Now we're gonna put a brand new belt right here. First, we're gonna take out this old one. Like I said earlier, there's two styles of belt. One is longer than the other one, so I picked up two belts. So I don't want to risk my my chance of getting one, so I got two belts. One of this will work, so we had to take out the old one. We'll measure it up. Alright, here we go. Try the shorter one. This is the shorter one. Let's see if this is the right one with the old original belt. Oh, that's too short. Okay, look at it. Too short. Now we have to try the longer one for sure. 4060 745 or 6 PK 1890. This is the one with the, I believe, the factory ACs. So yeah, that's the one. Straight right here and straight the bottom. Yeah, that's the one, the longest one that we need. All right, you had to pull up a diagram how you put this belt. All right, let's do this quick. Okay, off camera, I had to take out the engine mounts on the passenger side because my tools are here. This wrench right here is all the way to the front. There's no more room to get that tension or the tensioner out. So I had to take out the mounts right here so that I could move this 15 box head wrench like this sideways. So I could reef this thing down all the way to the front so that I got lots of room to put this belt to the alternator. So now it's on there, 15 mil with the extension like this, and then just keep reefing it like that. It was a little tough when I cut myself, so not bad. A little bit of drops of bloods, but part of the game. That's how it is. So there you go, guys. There's the belt, separate time belt. That's how you take out the old one, put the new one in. Let's put this bracket in here. You have to jack the engine a little bit from the passenger side so that this thing is on an angle, so that we could put the bracket on here, just like that. Just wiggle it, or if it's tough to go in there, just keep jacking up the floor jack so the engine will go up a little bit, and then it will slide right in there. All right, there you go. Let's put the intake back on there, the intake box, the intake tube, and then let's put the negative battery back in. All right, guys, here we go. So nice and tight, bolted down. It's gonna connect this sensor wire right there. There's two down here, and this little tiny one right here that goes to the AC. And there you go. There's only two connectors that you need to connect. This one intake and then to the AC. That's it. Let's put the negative battery and then we'll give this thing a crank and let's see how it sounds. Should be quiet now, but except the exhaust leak. We got exhaust leak. That's the next fix. All right, we got the battery hooked up in there, booster pack, ready to go. Hopefully this will start. All right, let's go. Should have no winding sound on this. Yeah, not bad. Got no winding sound anymore. It's quiet. Nice. Belt's good. No shakiness. The alternator is quiet. Perfect. It worked, guys. Now, next step, we're gonna diagnose the sound of this exhaust. So that will be our next video. I'm gonna have to jack up the car, go underneath where is that leaks coming from. That's it, guys. Thumbs up, give me a subscribe, like the video. Thanks for watching.